Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the class. How are you all? I'm fine, thank you. And I hope you people are good and safe at your home. Please have vigilance towards your health. Take care about your health. Drink hot water and have a healthy food. Think positively, be happy, play with your friends and the family members, and do hard work. So this time you got every time in your hand, so make use of a time by creating the timetable. Prepare a timetable, go according to that, then it will be easy for you people. If you continue the timetable for the 21 days, it will become your habit. If you continue that for the 3 months, it will become your lifestyle. So make it as a lifestyle. Once it is become a lifestyle, suppose you made a timetable to get up at 5 o'clock, suppose it continued for a 3 months, then it will become a lifestyle. If you don't want to wake up at 5 o'clock, automatically you will wake up and you will not get a sleep again. Then you can continue your own work, is not. And if you make a timetable like that, suppose you start to read from the 5:30 every day from the 3 months. Again, automatically, if you don't have any exam, if you are having a holiday even, you will decide to read. After 5:30, you will feel to read something because it will become a lifestyle. So in that time, you can read anything which gives knowledge, then it will not be wasted. If you get a knowledge anytime about anything, it will not be wasted. Every knowledge are required now, is not. Human span is somewhat less now. It is the human life expectancy is somewhat is going less. In this last time of a lifespan, we need to you need to achieve. For that achievement, you should not look at the age. Oh, I am very small, I should not get that knowledge now. You should not look at the age. Even if you are very small, you will be having more grasping power and more gathering power of ideas and the knowledge you will be having now in this age. So as much as you want to learn, you can learn in this age. So gather more knowledges, learn more things, and it will be useful for your future. So let's come back for the discussion. In the last class, we were discussing about Adivasis and development. We have discussed about that, how the Adivasis they were helped for the development in the ancient period, in the monarchy, is not? The monarchy, like Raja, when the Raja and the ruler were ruling the democracy, like a territory, the kingdom. The Rajas means like rulers, royal families, they were having connection with these tribals. Because tribals, they were giving them medicines plants, and they were making the help by providing the roots of trees and by timber from the trees. So they were all getting help from each other from their ancient period. The Adivasis are being helping for modernization, but they are not accepted the modernization. But that's the reason we have kept them as a marginalized. Is not. It's not good. And we are discussing about that how a development has gradually got in them. So it was a negative development when the Britishers they came to India. They made discrimination on the tribals. They have suppressed the tribals, and they have taken more help from the tribal, and they have made them to live as the Britishers was telling. ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಆ ರೀತಿಯೇ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ಗಳು ಬೆಳೀಬೇಕು, ಆ ರೀತಿಯೇ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ಸ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ತಂದರು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ವಾ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ನೀವು ಕಾಡಿನ ಜಾಗ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಬರ್ರಿ, ನಮಗೆ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಲೇಬರ್ ಆಗಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಪ್ಲಾಂಟೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರೇ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟೇಷನ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು. ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದೇರ್. ನಾವ್ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಗಾಟ್ ಅ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ after 1947, when the constitution is framed and when it is implemented from the 1950 January 26, from there the scenario in the social life in the democratic form of government has got changed. Even the tribals also started to get rights. Now the tribal community are being developed for their welfare. The state government and central governments, they are also striving hard, and also they are supporting for the tribals, because they are also human beings, is not the they are also fine human beings, because they adore the nature. They don't disturb the forest. They are having a distinct culture which is actually good. They don't disturb anything. They don't disturb nature. That is their culture, is not. To uphold that and also to protect their culture and to make that sustainable in the future, this all the government and this constitution have given particular rights for them. So that's what we made a development. And then recently they got a rights they got reservation in the education field, in the treatment, and also in the job they got reservation. So this all the reservation has given them in order to make them feel as equal as others. It's only reason they are given a reservation. Suppose the tribals has not given with any reservations, then what would happen? The things was very, it would have very worst, it would be very worst, because we have been seeing from the ancient period that the people are suppressing the lower class people, the poor people, and the tribals, is so in under the democratic form of government, if they are suppose doing the same things, it would be very worst evils in the society. So that reason, the Constitution of India, they have mentioned the particular rights and regulation, rights and the reservation for them. So by following all those things, we are moving towards a good democratic form of government. So now we will discuss about the concept minorities and marginalization. So here the term meaning of minorities. What do you mean by minorities? Majority and minority. What is the difference in between majority and minority? Majority are those people, or the people who are agree, what called accepted for, means most people, suppose they are accepted for one thing, is majority people are accepted. The people who are having in a more number, or the people or thing or anything, if it is there in a more in number, it's called as a majority. Less in number, it's a minority. Minor is a small, major is a big one, is not same. So here minorities, we call them as minorities if they are less in a number. In the social minority, we are discussing in related to the social minority. The tribals and the lower class peoples like SCs and other women's and other religious peoples, Muslims, they are called as a minorities because they are less in the number. They were called as minorities. Now we don't have that mentality, but in some other areas, even to these mentalities or ideologies are being existed. So earlier it was having in a more proportion. The lower class people, tribals and SSTs were mentioned, they are called and they are illustrated with the minorities term. So they were not given with any opportunities. They were not left to talk with the social, means they were not left to being with the social with others, means they were not to be acted as socially with other people. So they were called as a minorities. They are less in number, and also they cannot get a more money, and they were not having they were not richer, so they were called as minorities. So this picture that explains is not here. We have a group of people which they are more in number, and these peoples are called as minorities. So because there are less, only 3 peoples are there here, is not 3 number of people there. Here there are more than around 11, there are more than 10 and 11 peoples are there. These peoples are neglected. They are somewhat different than the group of people. This color that explains, they are in the white, and these peoples are in a yellow. That explains, that illustrate these peoples are different. It may be in the economically, socially, culturally, they are different. It may be in the skin color, they are different. It may be in their activity, they are different. So because of a differenceness, we are marginalized them. We have made margin, we have put a margin. So these people cannot enter into this social life. Only these people can have the particular opportunities. They will access into the particular opportunity. They will be having some privileges to make use of resources, but not these people, not these fellows. That is about the marginalization. So we are having this marginalization because of minorities. Who are those minorities in India? What we have? So the term minority is mostly common used to refer the communities that are numerically small in relation to the rest of a population. Numerically means in number. The communities which is less in number in relation with the rest of a population, it means in relating with the other communities. Like Hindus, the number of Hindus religions, what we have, it's more comparing with the other religion like Muslims and the Christian and Jain and Buddhist and Sikhism. We have less in number comparing with the Hindus. Is it not? So here earlier we had a discrimination by considering the Muslims they are less in number and Hindus we are more in number. We had we had a marginalization that Muslims cannot come into the areas of Hindus because we are more in number, they are less. They adore different god and the goddesses. They follow a different culture. Their activity is different. Their social life is different than this group of people. So they are considered as a marginalized people. It encompasses issues of power, access to the resources, and has social and cultural dimensions. So here it has issues of power. The people of a less population, if they are having a less power, they are considered as a marginalized. They will not be allowed to access into the resources. They will not be allowed to make use of resources as the more number of people are making use. Suppose we have a more 100 people are there, 100 group of people, one community. They are in a one community, 100 group of people. There are 10 peoples. They are belonging to the different community. Because they are less in number, they don't have power. 100 people, they have power with them. Because they are accumulated every resources in their hand. Because they are rich, because they are more in a number and they are richer. They are accumulated every resources. The resources as not given to the small people. ಈ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರು. ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ನ ತಾವು ಅಂದರೆ ವಶಪಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. They are growing richer and richer. These people are becoming poorer and poorer. So power is less in them. So we had a social discrimination. Rich and the poor. We got a social dimension. And the cultural also we have dimensions. Culturally, they follows whatever the people, the 100 people they follows, that has to be followed by the lower people, means the 10 people group of people is not 10 group of community they have to follow. 10 ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಅವರು ಏನು ಕಲ್ಚರ್ನ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇವನ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್. ಇದನ್ನ ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಪ್ಪರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಅವ್ರು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೇಮ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ಸ್. Tribals are having good culture. They are following the good culture. They are having good social life. They are practicing the good culture. But we are not following their. We are not influenced with their culture. We are not following because they are less in number. They don't have power. Why should we follow their culture? That's stereotypes we have in our mind, and that prejudice we have in our mind. That is making discrimination in among us. That is created the marginalization. Safeguards are needed to protect minorities communities against the possibilities of being culturally dominated by the majority. So there is some safeguards are required. Safeguard ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸೇಫ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇಫ್ ಗಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಿದೆ. ಸೇಫ್ ಗಾರ್ಡ್ ಯಾವುದು? ರೈಟ್ಸ್. Reservation. So these are the safeguards. Government programs, schemes which is implemented for them, it's all the safeguards. Mainly the rights are the safeguards which is a need for the minorities to be protected from the majorities. Suppose the minorities they don't have any rights, fundamental rights. Suppose they don't have any reservation based on this constitution. Suppose they don't have ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಅವಾಗ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟೀಸ್ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೂ ದಬ್ಬಾಳಿಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇದ್ರು, ಮೆಜಾರಿಟೀಸ್ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೂ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಮಿನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇದ್ರು. ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್, ಅವ್ರಿಗೊಂದು ಹಕ್ಕಿದೆ, ಈ ಸಂವಿಧಾನದ ಮೂಲಕ ಹಕ್ಕಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅವರು ಅವ್ರ ಹಕ್ಕು ಕೇಳಿಕೊಂಡು ಅವರು ಈಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಎ ರಿಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಜಾಬ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್, ಫ್ರೀ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಜಾಬ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗ್ರೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಅಸ್. So we are having equality. So that is there is a required some safeguards for them. They also protect them against any discrimination and disadvantages that they may face because of these rights and the reservation which they got. So because of this, all these things, they are ready to face a problem, and also they are ready to they are ready to have a protect among them against the discrimination and disadvantages. If they are having any discriminations based on their race, color, and based on their anything, based on the culture, suppose they are discriminated by the other, they are protecting against that. They are making war against that. Means the culturally and also in the literally they are making a war, not physically, and with the rights they are making a war in order to get equal rights and equal opportunity that they are facing. Whatever the problem they are facing, if they face a problem in the future, if they may face a problem, they are ready to protect. They are ready to make a strike because they have rights in their hand according to this constitution. The constitution provides this safeguard because it is committed to protecting India's cultural diversity and promoting equality as well as justice. So as we discussed in the first chapter of civics, that the Indian constitution that provides the every rights for the every group of people, and for the minorities and the marginalized which we were having earlier, for them it has given the extra provisions to protect the cultures of a particular group of people because they are minorities. If they don't give them much rights, the minority culture it may vanish now because nobody will be there for continuation. If they make a domination, if they get a domination from the majority, nobody will be there for continuation. So that reason constitution has helped them. It is helping in order to create the justice in among everybody. So that's about this concept. Next we go for the next concept, Muslim and marginalization. So Muslim and the marginalization is next one. So Adivasis what we discussed and the SCSTs. Now the Muslims are also considered as a marginalized because they are less in the number. Comparing with the Hindus, the Muslims are less in number, so they are marginalized. They are made as a group, so they have to be act in one group. They should not get equal rights as the Hindus were getting earlier before the constitution was framing. Earlier this condition was there under the British rule, because British rule they have started divide and rule policy. When the Britishers they came to India to rule, and that time the Indians were ready to fight against the Britishers, and the Britishers they got information that the Indians are very stronger because they are combined with the Hindus and Muslims. They are feeling they are living like a brotherhoodness. They are having a unity among them. So if the Britishers start to rule against them, they would not get a success. So they made one plan to divide the Hindus and Muslims apart. So they have divided Hindus and Muslims. Some part of Muslims they have sent to the Bangladesh and Pakistan. They have made a divisions. So they have made a divisions only to rule the Indians. If they didn't make partition, it would not be easy for the Britishers. So that's the reason they have made a partition. Then from there, the discrimination has begun on the Muslims. So Muslims were small in number comparing with the Hindus. So this marginalization has created by the Britishers. So it is continued. Muslims were not given with much opportunity. They were not given with much rights early before the framing of a constitution. So it was a condition. It is the Muslim marginalization. Muslims are 13.4% of India's population and are considered to be a marginalized community in India. They are only having 13.4%. Hindus we have 18, means Hindus are having 80%, more than 80% of population. Muslims we have 13.4%. So they were somewhat very less in number population. So that's the reason they were called as marginalized. They were kept in some groups, some away from the village and the cities. They were kept in away from main places. and they have over the year been deprived of the benefits of a socio-economic development of basic amenities, literacy and public employment. They were deprived, they were not given with these opportunities, basic opportunities. They were not given with the access into the public resources. They were not given with the basic amenities, basic requirement, education, healthcare, and access into the resources were not allowed for them. It was a condition. Recognize the Muslims in India were lagging behind in terms of various development in indicators. The government set up a high level committee in the 2005. So even after giving some rights to the Muslims, then also we had a discriminations. So recognizing the Muslims, to recognize them as equal as everybody, the Indian constitution has given particular rights for them, and also to bring up, to have a welfare in the Muslims, to all, to make a development in their livelihood. They have made a community, high level committee in the 2005. So the report of a community suggests that Muslim community is comparable to that of other marginalized community like scheduled caste and scheduled tribals. This high level community in 2005, that is declared the SCSTs and the tribals were marginalized earlier, is not. They are given with the different rights and the reservation. SCSTs and tribals were marginalized because they were less in number. So that reason they were marginalized. They were kept in the aside. They were kept aside. So they were marginalized. But the Muslims were also marginalized, but they were not given with any rights. Then now in the high level committee in the 2005, they were given with the rights, and also they were considered as SCST and the tribal group. They are belong to that group. So by with them, they are given with the rights. According to the report of average year of schooling for Muslim children between age 7 to 16 is much lower than that of other social religious communities. So here for the Muslim, they were given with the 7 to 16 the free education. For the other marginalized community what we have in India, social political, like it's from the 5, it starts from the 5. From the 5 to 16 they will be having free education. For the Muslims 7 to 16. So that's all, they have made some reservation for keeping up them as equal as we are. The Muslim custom and practices such as wearing burqa and fez make them different from the others. Because of this, they tend to be identified differently, and some people think they are not like the rest of us. Because Muslim women, they wear burqa, all the time they wear burqa and the fez, topi in their head. So this makes them as a different all the time. Like SCSTs and tribals, we don't have a much discrimination now. We are consider them as according to this constitution, we consider them as our livelihood. It's not. We don't have much discrimination. We don't feel them as apart from our group, but we feel these Muslims as apart from their group because they are continuing their with their own cultures, wearing burqa and the fez is not. This often because of excess to the treat them unfairly. So we are treating them unfairly because they are wearing different cultures. But in Indian constitution that has told that we should respect every kind of the practices, religious practices in among every religion to continue the secularism. So we should also accept that their burqa and everything we should accept. Then they should also accept every cultures. That's what. This social marginalization of Muslims in some instances has led to their migration from place where they have lived, often leading to the ghettoizations of the community. So because of this, people they have moved from the other areas. We can see some other areas, some other villages. They live in the particular places. They live in the particular places. They will not mingle with every people of Hindus. They live in the particular places because they follow this burqa and fez and they follow their own culture. And also that is led for the ghettoization. So what is this ghettoization? We'll discuss. Ghettoization is nothing but a ghetto is an area or locality that is populated largely by member of a parliament community, member of a particular community. Sorry. This therefore a process that leads to such as situation. This may occur due to the various social, culture, economic reasons. Ghettoizations like here this place which is influenced or which is formed by the particular community people. Tribals, it's also ghettoizations. They are particular member. The tribals are a particular member with their own culture, with their own traditional, with their own social life. They follow in a particular place. It's ghettoizations. Like in the Muslims also, we call it ghettoization place. Ghettoization. So they follow the ghettoization. They live in the one places togetherly. They follow the culture, same cultures. That's what. This experiences all these groups point to the fact that marginalization is a complex phenomena requiring a variety of strategies, measures, and safeguard to redress the situation. It's though this ghettoization that explains, that illustrate this marginalization is very stronger. Ghettoization ಏನಂತಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ಅವರು ಅದೇ ಒಂದು ಸೇಮ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್, ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ದೇವ್ರನ್ನ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅದೇ ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನ್ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ghettoization. ಈ ghettoization ಏನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಮಾರ್ಜಿನಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಮಾರ್ಜಿನಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನೋವಂಥದ್ದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಾರ್ಜಿನಲೈಸೇಷನು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಅಂದರೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಭೇದ ಭಾವ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾರಣ ಏನು? ghettoization. ಸೊ ಈ ghettoization ರಿಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇದನ್ನ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು? ಸೇಫ್ ಗಾರ್ಡ್, ರೈಟ್ಸ್, ಈಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ರಿಡ್ರೆಸ್ ದ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್. ಎವ್ರಿ citizens has a stake in protecting the rights, defending in the constitution and the law and policies framed to realize these rights. Means every citizens, they have rights. Now the most of the people, they are educated and they have rights and they can protect against their discrimination, against their disadvantages in according to the constitution. Without this, no one will never be able to protect the diversity that makes one's countries unique. Without the constitution, without the rights, without the particular privileges for the particular group, without thinking them as a secular country or secular without thinking them as a humankind, the country cannot be as one. If you don't have this brotherhoodness among us, if you don't have the secularism in among us, the current country which is divided, fragmented, is not for a broken country. It will be broken country, is not. So we have a different diversity in India. To continue this different diversity, we should have this particular rights. We should follow this reservation rights and everything to continue the diversity. That's what about this chapter, what we discuss in this marginalization. So write exercise, complete your exercise and get a check and get a sign into your notebook. Complete your homework which will be given in the every day and work hard. Thank you. Have a nice day.